want, okay? I said you say one thing and then you mean another. So up here, you're like, I want a red Porsche, I want a red Porsche, I want a red Porsche. And underneath here, your meaning is, your vibrational essence down here is, I don't deserve a Porsche, I don't deserve a Porsche, only other people have Porsches, I'll never have enough money for a Porsche, I gotta be a star to have a Porsche, I'm too tall to be in a Porsche, right? I believe that law of attraction, you can call it the law, which I actually like better, is something that's happening. I know it's happening all the time. And some of the work that we're going to do here this week, you might know already, but it's always a good reminder, and you but it's always good to come back to the basics. So today we're going to talk about when you learn law of attraction, you're taught one thing in particular, and it's very, very, very emphasized. I was going to say the other word. It's very emphasized, right? You hear, focus on what you want. Say yes in the chat if you've ever heard that. Focus on what you want, focus on what you want, focus on what you want. You've heard that before. Hello, Jeremy. Hello, hi, Carrie. Yeah, focus on what you want, focus on what you want. That's important. It's important, but I'm here to tell you that there are some pitfalls with focusing on what you want, right? So, in general, let's do a short definition. Short definition of law of attraction. Law of attraction states that you get, you invite, you experience what you focus on in your life and your business and your experience, right? So that's the basic law of attraction, is that you get what you focus on, right? And that's a good beginning example of how you are co-creating. Remember yesterday, if you were here yesterday, I talked about how God, universe, source, whatever you want to call it, is always saying, so it's always saying yes, meaning that we're co-creating with the force of life. You could call it God, you could call it divine, whatever you want. There is a force of life, vibrational field, that is neutral, meaning that it's just there and it's just waiting for us to imprint something on it, and then it will happen. That's very simplistic, but that's basically what it is. So this is vibrational field that's always saying yes, meaning that it's neutral. It's just going, okay, blue bunnies, boom, blue bunnies, and then blue bunnies, the vibrational field of blue bunnies starts to happen. Do you understand? So right now we just talked about blue bunnies. This is an important thing about focusing. We'll get to the other part about focusing in a second. So blue bunnies. Right now we're thinking about blue bunnies. Right now, when I say blue bunnies and they hop and they're cute, and sometimes you see them at Easter and they're blue and they're bunnies and they go boing, 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 right? Right now, you are thinking in your head of a blue bunny. This is principle. This is principle. What you focus on comes. Right. So we get the principle. All of us get the principle. And here's where it goes a little wonky. People start to understand this principle, and then they start to go, okay, red Porsche, red Porsche, red Porsche, red Porsche. And they start looking around for the red Porsche. And there's no red Porsche. Okay. Great job, great job, great job. I'm gonna look at the great job. I'm gonna focus on a great job. I'm gonna focus on a great job. And then look around their life and there's no great job. Say yes if that's happened to you, where you're like, I'm just gonna focus on it, or you get this principle, and this is why when you focus on something and then it doesn't happen, that doesn't happen. And you're like, well, the principle is that you're supposed to be able to focus on something and it's supposed to come into you. It's supposed to appear. And if anyone here has ever seen The Secret, the movie The Secret, that was like blew the whole law of attraction thing out of the water probably 15 years ago, maybe more. And if you just watch that film, you're definitely thinking this. And then you go, this crap doesn't work because I've been focusing on red Porsche, red Porsche, red Porsche, and it's not happening. And it's not happening because in The Secret, what they did was it's helpful if you're just, I mean, at this point, everybody that's, I would think, everyone that's here on Inside Timer already knows what we're talking about. Capiche? But what so the Secret did a good job in giving you the surface of it. And there's even an example in the movie The Secret. If you, I mean, listen, watch The Secret. Why not? It might help you. There's this thing in The Secret where there's a little boy that wants a bike, and there's a little boy that wants a bike. And so he is like, gold bike, gold bike, gold bike, gold bike. And then he wakes up one morning and he literally opens his door and there's a gold bike. And you're like, oh, that's all I have to do. That's all I have to do. Well, here's the deal. It doesn't really work. Because if you were here yesterday, you will know that I talked about opposing vibrations. Opposing vibrations. So it was one of the things that we talked about yesterday, but we're just delving deep into it. This week, a lot of the things are going to be repeated because when I break down law of attraction, a lot of the very similar things are the problems of why people aren't manifesting what they want to. So you remember yesterday I said you say one thing and you mean another. Do you remember that? And if you weren't here, that's okay. I said you say one thing and then you mean another. So up here you're like, I want a red Porsche. I want a red Porsche. I want a red Porsche. And underneath here, your meaning is your vibrational essence down here is I don't deserve a Porsche. I don't deserve a Porsche. Only other people have Porsches. I'll never have enough money for a Porsche. I got to be a star to have a Porsche. I'm too tall to be in a Porsche. Right? But up here you're going red Porsche, red Porsche. I want a red Porsche. This is what's happening is that this is listening to this, not this. So you're focusing here, and this is focusing here. So you're saying one thing, you're meaning another thing, and law of attraction, God, source, love, whatever you call it, is just matching this. It's not matching that. So you could focus on this all day long, all day long, all day long, but you have all this other stuff down here that says I don't deserve it. What's going on? Blah 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 blah. It probably has even more blah blah blah. So the problem is, the problem is obviously these are opposing vibrations. If you want something and you don't think you can have it, those are opposing vibrations, and you will never, I won't say never, you're not very likely to get your red Porsche. You could get your red Porsche, you could, but not really. You're not going to really get it. Okay. So one of the things about focusing is that it's taught to you, like I said earlier, I just said, is it's taught to you to be like, I got to focus on it. I got to focus on it. I got to focus on it. Now listen to me very clearly. When you focus on something that much, you create a sense of need. Needing something is a negative vibration. Needing something is an opposing vibration. So I'll give you an example. If you want a house on the beach, right? And you're like, oh, I want that house on the beach. It's going to be on stilts. I got the pictures. It's da, 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 and it's going to be really great. And you're focusing on it. This happens when you make vision boards too. We'll talk about that in a second. And you're like, oh, yeah, I love that house. That's going to be great. It's going to be wonderful. And you're focusing on it. And then you're focusing on it. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's going to be really great. And then a few weeks or months go by and you don't have it. And you're like, oh, I'm going to keep focusing on it because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And then a few weeks go by and you're like, where's my where's my beach house? It's not there. I don't even see an ad for a beach house. I don't even know where the beach house is. What's going on? But I'm going to keep focusing on just focus. Here's the rule: focus on the beach house. Focus on the beach house. Focus on, and then guess what? Then you need the beach house. Needing the beach house is a completely opposite vibration than, I love my beach house. It's incredible. Two very different things. So you focus on it so much that you put, this is what I tell my students, you start to equate a needing vibration to the thing you want. And when you equate a needy vibration to the thing you want, it will never happen. It will never happen. And this is why people end up going, this stuff doesn't work because I didn't. Well, it's because, and what Sarah just said, and someone brought it up yesterday or something like that, but I said it yesterday, I think. Needing is desperation. And I came up with this quote years ago. You can read it right there, but I'll say it here. The vibration of desperation always blocks manifestation. So you focus on it so much that you make it need that you have to have it. And when you have to have it, what you're doing is you're pushing it away. You can't push what you want away. If you push what you want away, you're never going to co-create it. It's not going to happen. But on the other hand, you have to give it some attention. You're not going to It's not going to happen if you just, my teacher Michael Loget years ago, he used to say this. He used to say, it's not going to happen if you just go red Porsche and then you put it in your sock drawer and you never think about it again. It's not going to happen like that. It's not going to happen like that either. So you're either focusing too much on it or you're not focusing enough on it. Because, and this is where it becomes a real, how do I say it? Law of attraction is an art form, conscious law of attraction. I'm going to say that. Conscious law of attraction is an art form, and very few people get it. And you start to do it and you start to understand it. Most people give up and then they just go into unconscious attraction. You're always attracting stuff in your life, always. Situations, people, jobs, money, not money, whatever. It's the rule, it's the law. Neville Goddard is one of my favorite law of attraction teachers, and he used to just call it the law. The law. And the law states that you get what you focus on. But it's an art form to be able to navigate the desperation, navigate the negative vibration, navigate what's going on in here. Because what's going on here, which is here and here, when you're able to navigate that, that's when you can focus on something and let it go. This is why Elsa sings the song, Let It Go, Let It Go, Let It Go. And one of my favorite, and if you've never seen this before, then it's one of the best law of attraction films ever. Some of you know this and know what I'm going to say right now, but one of my favorite law of attraction films is called Under the Tuscan Sun. You should rent that. You should watch that. There is lesson after lesson after lesson after lesson after lesson about law of attraction in that film. Plus, it's beautiful. And it's got Diane Lane, the most beautiful one. I mean, it's great. And if you break that down, which I have, you break that down and you break that down, you will understand why she All of us are thrown into this world, and if you start to get it, you're going to be like, oh, I got to step back here. Let me step back. I don't need it so much. When you focus and when you step back, and when you focus and when you step back, it becomes a dance and it becomes an art form, right?